Welcome back to Elizabeth Plants. I'm Elizabeth and today I'm going to attempt a houseplant tour. So I'm going to tour you through all of the plants in my house, but I want to preface this video. So currently I am really starting to pack up the apartment, so it is a disaster in here. Not all of the plants are where they usually were because I've taken out some shelving. I'm starting to pull all of the hanging planters down so that I can pack them up. So a lot of plants are just kind of chilling about, but for the most part, everything's still-ish where it was. So for that reason, I'm going to give you the tour now, even though it's absolutely a wreck in the house, because I won't have time after today to give you a full tour, and I'm going to start packing up pottery, and I've already replanted most of my plants, and I'm going to start packing up baskets. It's not going to be much of a tour soon. So I'm going to give it to you now. I will not be naming all of the plants. I'm the worst with houseplant names. I'll try and find them and put them on screen. I also think this video would be way too long if I tried to go through and name all the plants. So I'm going to name a good chunk. So we're actually going to start outside of the plant office in the bedroom. Now I actually have very, very few plants in the bedroom, just 3. And they're all hanging, and they'll all probably be hanging until the last minute, simply because I don't have really anywhere else to put these plants where the cats won't dig in them. But let's take a look. All right, so the first plants are hanging in the corner of my bedroom right next to a window, and these 2 are philodendrons. We've got a philodendron Brazil, I think. Why am I blanking? I'm blanking. And then I've just got a regular one. Regular heartleaf philodendron. It's green right here. These guys get quite a bit of light, but they do get neglected a little bit as far as water goes. So they've got some crusty leaves in there. Then on the other side of the room, not that far from a window, and above the cat tree and bearded dragon tank is a green pothos, or like a neon pothos, with some variegation. This guy hangs here. There's nothing above him because I don't have anything small that wouldn't dry out and die up there. The AC vent's not far away. But this guy loves it. He's thriving. Now we are moving to the living room, and this is where the real packing mess is. So if you're mad about how messy my apartment is, then honestly, if you have a problem, take it somewhere else. But I have quite a few plants out here, and most of them are still where they're gonna stay and where they've been. So let's take. Okay, so first is in this corner right next to a window. Currently the blinds are down, but is one of the large plants. It's like a Dracaena silver something that I repotted. It's in the new plastic pot in the ceramic pot still, simply because the cats will knock it over if it's not in something a little bit more sturdy. Then we come to underneath our TV, and I've got just a regular golden pothos mixed with a green pothos. That's in Leca. I'm not sure if I'm going to be keeping this guy yet or not because they're so easy to get. Then next to it we have one of these guys in Leca, but my cat's dumped some soil on top. So he's over here. He's been trimmed back pretty significantly, and the trimmings are in the other room. Still on the TV console, ignore the mess. Raja dug in this plant 2 nights ago, and I haven't had a chance to clean up the mess. But here we've got a Scindapsus. I want to say this is my Exotica. It's in a cash pot. Next to it, we've got my Philodendron Moonlight in Leca balls. He's thriving. And next to it on a stand in a basket is a mixture of red emerald and something else potted up in Leca in a basket. And this guy has been trimmed back quite a bit. I might trim him again before the move. Haven't decided. And then next to him in another basket, right next to a humidifier that I never remembered to fill up, is another Dracaena, like a lime Dracaena, and he is also in Lekka in the basket. I am likely going to try and sell this guy. If he doesn't sell, I won't be upset. But Dracaenas are pretty easy to reobtain, and this guy takes up quite a bit of space. Then if we cross the hallway, this is the bedroom. We won't be going in there. But I've got more of this plant kind of chilling in the hallway. Bright, very, very indirect light. And he just he chills here. And then across the hallway a little bit more. I'll take a step back so you can see our Christmas cat in a mess painting that fell. But here is this guy in desperate need of a rinse. This is a mixture of dust and diatomaceous earth. He needs to be rinsed, but he was watered not that long ago, and so I don't want to oversaturate the soil. So I wiped a couple of the leaves off, but he sits here in the hallway and gets bright indirect light from the bedroom. The lighting's quite bright over here, so I'm not sure if you'll get a good view, but next to the couch and another pile of boxes and a bar table is my fiddly fig. This guy I'm going to try to sell before the move because I know he's not going to handle the move very well. And also he's large, so he'll take up a lot of space. And then my birds of paradise, which I repotted recently. And they're, again, in the plastic in the pottery so that the cats don't knock him over. And then if we come over into the bar table, this table is for sale on Facebook Marketplace. But until it sells, I've got this guy, my Peperomia obtusifolia. It's a mixture of two types of variegation and a green one. It sits in Lekka in here, gets some very bright direct and indirect sun. Then in the corner of the room, which is usually a little bit more organized, these wires aren't usually here, is another Scindapsus. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because of the lighting in this room. He's usually hanging from the hook up there, but I took him down so that I could pack up the thing he was hanging in. And he just kind of chills in this corner, gets indirect light from both of these windows, and loves life. I recently trimmed him back quite a bit. I want to say, I don't remember what this one's called. If I find it, it's on screen. But he loves it. The AC just turned on, so that's gonna be kind of loud. You'll have to forgive me though. If I do not let the AC continue to run, all the windows we have in this apartment, it'll get so hot. And it has been such a hot summer. But we've basically finished all of the house except the plant room. Most of my plants are kept in this plant room right now because I've repotted them or the cats, knocked them over or whatever. They're rehabbing. Also, this is just where the most space is. So we're gonna try and tackle this room. This is where the plant mess is. This is where I kind of just store plants that, are rehabbing because the cats knocked them over or need a repot or whatever. So there's not necessarily a rhyme or reason to it all. Let's take a look. So if we start with the view when we enter, obviously it's chaotic. Over here are all of the pots that I plan on selling, and some are tucked back that I'm keeping, or all the pots and plants that I'm selling. So it's kind of chaotic, but we're gonna start and go around the room. So down here I have this giant aloe. This guy was in the dining area, but the cats knocked him off his stand and broke his pot, so I had to repot him, and he's just kind of been rehabbing in here. Some bent up leaves, but not the end of the world. He will be selling, or I will be selling him, because he's huge, he'll be difficult to transport, and I'm not super duper emotionally attached to this one. I believe it was a subscription box plant. Next to him is a piece of a Dracaena that I will be selling. I recently repotted this guy. He was originally with another plant. And then right here we have a palm that I sadly seriously underwatered. I'm hoping he'll come back, but my bad. On his pot, though, I keep my Cebu Blue. This is unfortunately what is left of my Cebu Blue. The cat knocked him over one too many times, and I lost 90% of the foliage, so that kind of sucks. So this is what's left. Next to it we have I want to say this is Syngonium Army. Looks kind of like Army. This back leaf is not too intense. This is just a cutting. or the stumps of the plant, I can't remember, but he's loving life over here. This is his most recent leaf, and look how beautiful it is. So he's loving life right here. Then behind the palm, we have another Dracaena, I believe, and this one I have repotted into plastic to give to my mom. She is going to be taking this plant. Next to it, I've got some soil, some pots. I've got what looks like an alocasia stump and another alocasia stump with an alocasia that desperately needs to be cleaned. All the dust on this guy is diatomaceous earth from spider mites that he no longer suffers from, so he definitely needs to be cleaned. We've got 3 leaves, and considering we just survived spider mites, I think that's phenomenal. Right here is another piece of the Dracaena that I will be selling or giving away before the move. Then if we come up, those are some plastic containers I will be transporting plants in. And those are a lot of my plant hangers and baskets that I will be keeping, a pot I inherited, and some more plastic ones. Then if we go up, feature a leaf, we'll get to this guy in a sec. But over here, I've got some succulents that I repotted in a video or a live stream, I can't quite remember. We've got these 3 flowers still kind of going strong, honestly. We've got him, these guys, and then this little guy over here. They get bright indirect light. I used to have plants hanging up here, but I don't anymore. They're all kind of like around and about. Then I'm going to slowly step back. I've got this giant philodendron Salome. He's got a new name. This leaf. He's got a lot of leaves that are closer to the window. He is a giant plant. He is in leca with a Syngonium ribbon that probably could use a water. It's got some crusty leaves. The stumps of my philodendron lime upright, or lemon upright, and this is what the stumps have done since I trimmed him back entirely. So that's pretty amazing. It's been maybe a month, 2 months of stump growth. And honestly, I just want to pull you around to look at the, how am I going to show you? Do you see this aerial root? Look at it. Look at this aerial root. That's crazy. All right, and down over here on the other side, if you're gonna be able to see, we've got a snake plant, just like a regular old snake plant that's been kind of tucked back there. We have this guy who I don't think loves it here, and I'm trying my very best, but we've got that guy and my snake plant Moonlight right here, and another bunch of snake plant cuttings that are going to my mom and need to be potted. Now we are at the middle of the room, still same area where I've been stepping, but we've got, I believe this one's my Atabapoense. He is doing phenomenal, and I definitely know I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but he is got some diatomaceous earth on him, but he's doing phenomenal. This is the most recent leaf, still hardening off. And he's got his little moss pole. Then I've got some stones, some cuttings from the plant in the living room that are drying out way too quick in leca. Probably gonna have to put them in soil soon. And we've got the stump of this guy with just those few leaves on it, but quite a few growth points trying to do something. We've got a Syngonium kind of mesh of plants. I'm not sure which ones. Looks like there might be Maria in there. I think Holly. I'm not entirely sure. This plant gets neglected a lot. And we've got a white butterfly Syngonium chilling over here. There used to be a pot of pink Syngonium right here. They're on the other side of the room right now, but they used to be here on a stand. Then we go up here and we've got my variegated peace lily that just finished flowering and is now kind of adjusting, losing its oldest leaf, but I'm gonna let that one cycle naturally. And then on my desk I have all of these cuttings and just a pothos cutting that's not doing too hot. Then let's take a look out the window. It's gonna be kind of hard because of the way the sun is shining. A lot of these plants were hanging above the window, and I've taken the hanging planters down. But we've got the stumps to this guy. I'm kind of far away. We've got the stumps to this guy, kind of just starting to grow leaves. They've been stumps for, shoot, like a month. We've got a smaller aloe plant that I have inherited from my grandma. I hope you can see that. I really don't think you're gonna be able to. I severely neglected this guy, forgot about him. Here are my 2 succulents from my more recent succulent repotting. I did put them in plastic for the move, and they seem to be adjusting lovely. Pineapple plant. I'm stepping over all of my my prop boxes, so you'll have to forgive the wobbliness of the video. Then we have a couple more succulents right here that are a little bit sun-stressed, but I think they're pretty. Got some cuttings that I'm trying to root that the cats keep pulling out of the soil of my snow cactus. He's right here. I've got my variegated ZZ and a bunch of cacti right here. So we've got my cactus garden, and look at that. That's really cool. Got my cactus garden, another cactus, variegated ZZ. He's not usually right here. He got moved for a little bit and he's enjoying it, so I'm not bothering him. And then just a tiny little snake plant that needs to be watered. And now down here where my feet are a bunch of pots that I am keeping. And here is that pink syngonium that I was talking about. It's a bunch of different types of pink syngonium in this pot. Looks nice and happy, so I don't bother him. Then over here we have the stumps of my syngonium elbow variegata. These are just the stumps. The rest of the cuttings are elsewhere, but we've got some growth coming in. Got some growth points and some leaves that have popped through. These guys have been a stump less than a month for sure. We've got one more prop box. Then we come up here. These guys were all in my elephant. I potted these guys up on Instagram, but I put them in plastic in my silent repot video. Here is some stumps to some philodendron heartleaf. I want to say these are the sport ones, but there's no leaves, so I don't know. Then we've got some regular syngonium cuttings that need probably water and to be trimmed up. Some more snake plant cuttings back there. Then we have my silver amidrum, just loving life. Trimmed him back recently, right there. He's adjusting well to this pot. Come up here, we've got my Monstera something. He seems to be doing okay here. I recently trimmed him back too. I am not sure if he loves self-watering and not sure if I'm gonna keep him in it. I'm kind of waiting it out a little bit longer. Then next on the shelf, we've got all of my elbow cuttings. And in here we have what I believe is my pastazanum. No, this one might be my gloriosum. It popped out this leaf, but like not really. So I think I might cut this leaf off so that I can focus on this guy. Not doing too hot, as we all know. And we've got this guy right here in front. We've got this guy, he's doing okay. In Lekka, he was in a hanging pot and got a little neglected, so he's got some weird shaped stumpy leaves. Down here we have the Golden Dragon fiddle mixture pot that we repotted the other day. And next door we have this guy who's doing phenomenal, got some diatomaceous earth on him, but he's in Lekka and most of his leaves are down here. And up here we have this guy who I keep trimming back. Lots of diatomaceous earth on him right now, but I keep trimming him back, and he is loving life. Probably gonna need a bigger pot after the move, but I don't want to stress him out before the move. We have this guy over here. He was in a ceramic pot in Lekka. Now he's in plastic. We've got a cutting right here that's not yet rooted in some moss. My Marimo, who needs water. Some empty pots, crystals. We've got some sport cuttings, I think, some Brazil sport. This is my Melanochrysum. So this is my original plant. A cutting or two are in here. And then all the way up, we've got this brand new leaf. Look at it, it's so pretty. And then down we've got this guy and some cuttings over here from the red emerald pot mix out in the living room. We come down to this guy. He is so stressed since our repotting, but not as stressed as he was before the repot. He was able to push out this teeny tiny leaf, which is phenomenal. And then next we have a ton of pots down here. My diatomaceous earth sprayer thing. And then this is my shelf of cuttings mostly. So if we lift this up, we've got my pink splash, some cuttings. We've got what I believe is an aeroid of some kind over here. We've got some cuttings from this guy. Then we go up the shelf, and there's just a ton of cuttings up here. I'm not going to talk you through them all. Tons of cuttings. We go up to my Bob C, which has tons of diatomaceous earth all over him from the other day. And then we also have this philodendron right here. And if we go up even further, we've got another philodendron in leca. In this corner, we have a palm, which is struggling with moisture right now. All of my plants are, quite frankly. Then over here, we have an entire shelf. We've got my Thai sunrise, the alocasia I recently repotted, and these are all covered in diatomaceous earth right now, by the way. We've got this syngonium, my Winlandii. We've got a elephant ear that was a stump and finally pushed out this guy. We've got more cuttings, but these guys have been repotted into soil recently. We've got this one, my original reverted Paraiso Verde, or at least the stump of it. There's some cuttings over on the cutting shelf. And then we have my Pedatum right next door right here. I've trimmed him back a couple times. He's been putting out stumpy leaves. So then in here is my hospital. You've seen most of the plants in here in a recent tour video, but here's an update on my Paraiso Verde, looking phenomenal. Still only the one yellowing leaf, though this one is starting to yellow a little bit. It's more visible on camera than in person. And it's still trying to spout out a leaf. I don't know if it'll focus on it. No, probably not. It's trying to poke out a leaf. Then down here we have the Mexicanum. Still also trying to poke out a leaf. Nothing in here has really changed. I did move this guy into here. He's loving life. Then on the other side, we have this guy. This is like a, wow, I'm getting kind of tired and losing my words. Anyways, this guy repotted for sale. I'm not going to be keeping him. And then I have my variegated prayer plant that looks phenomenal. It's flowering, flowers all season usually, and this season is no different. He just looks great. Loves his life right here. Honestly, wow, this leaf is beautiful. I'm gonna have to photograph that. So yeah, that is my entire houseplant collection. You have now seen it all. There is nothing that I kept out of this video except for stuff that I've seen that I've put in recent videos, like in my hospital or in my prop boxes. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I did a tour before I packed up all the furniture and before I moved, but not after all the mess went down. Hold on, Raja's eating something. Yeah, if there's anything that I didn't get ID'd, go ahead and ID it down in the comments. Be sure you add a time code, otherwise I'm not gonna know what the heck you're talking about. And neither will anybody else who views the comments. Now I've got Simba. He could use a snuggle. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close out here. Give this video a thumbs up if you like. If you wanna see more houseplant content, go ahead and subscribe, ring the bell, blah, blah, blah. You guys know the drill, and I will see you next time.